Jack?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning in, that means you have massive heat. I'm Jack Farmer, being joined as always by Matt Morgan and Raj Giri. And today, Raj, you missed it last week. I've started each show with a new segment, and it's called The Hot Seat. I'm putting you on the hot seat, Raj. Our old pal at Matt Coon Music tweeted, I'm pretty sure the only talent that AEW is sorry they lost to WWE is Cody Rhodes. What do you make of that statement?
Huh.
I want to weigh on this when he's done because I'm friends with Matt. I think the world of him. Go ahead, Raj.
Yeah, same here. As far as the ones that have really done the most damage so far, yes. But I think Blake Monroe is going to be, she's a future, main eventer down the road for sure. Ricky Saints, we haven't seen what he could do on the main roster yet, but I think he'll be a big star.
Why are you not saying Punk immediately?
Oh, Jesus Christ. How did I forget? Oh, my God.
Raj officially says that CM Punk isn't worth anything.
Oh, my God.
Yes, Mike D. You must be Jack Farmer's second cousin, brother's cool guy.
His burner.
Mike D. Let's settle it down, Mike D.
Shout out to Mike D with the chat. We love Jack Farmer.
You can't repeat that. You need one of us to say that for you.
The best way to get on here, by the way, you subscribe, you get into the chat, and if you super chat, we'll shout you out. Or if you say nice things about me, I'll shout you.
So is Matt trying to say? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, is Matt trying to say that they don't miss losing CM Punk because of the backstage issues that it caused? I guess is what his point is.
Possibly.
I bet you Tony Khan just sheds a tear every time he's seeing Punk on WWE TV, especially with the numbers that they're doing.
And P.S. They control a narrative again with CM Punk related his wife. Mm-hmm. Like, we're gonna get into it, I'm sure, when we cover Raw, but in the AJ Lee re-debut. But what are we even talking about here? It's not like some stretch of the imagination to say that like this was a major. I'm not gonna say it's a Tony fumble. I'm not gonna say that crap. I'm just gonna say that like I get he had to do what he had to do, but I would have, if this is my company, AEW, I'm grabbing the Bucks, I'm grabbing Kenny, I'm grabbing Punk all behind their ears. I'm ramming them into the meeting room with me and saying, guys, we have a chance to do something mega here. We have a chance to make mega dollars and make some really big storylines here, huge storylines. Mm-hmm. Raise your hand if you don't want to do it. The minute any one of them raise their hand, say, you're gone, you're fired. Because that would have shown I control this company, not you guys, and doing what's best, quote unquote, for business. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot in the past, or many podcasts have, especially after the brawl out situation. If they were able to then do some kind of program, it would have been money.
But we're pivoting on Matt Coon. Love him to death. Love you, Matt, if you're watching this. You're my boy. But with respect, you're wrong on this. It's because a locker room doesn't like somebody. Are you kidding me? When I was on SmackDown, you know how many people hated like 50% of the locker room? It didn't matter. What mattered is who can draw eyes to the television set, who could draw dollars to pay-per-view, who could draw people to an arena. That's all that mattered. It's a business. It's not a friendship circle.
Absolutely.
Which is why my wrestling company, Friendship Circle Wrestling, never got off the ground. But speaking about drawing eyeballs, you mentioned AJ Lee earlier, and we've mentioned her a bit here. We'll talk about her tonight on Raw, but of course her big return happened on SmackDown on Friday. And I wanted your guys' take on the AJ Lee return, because I think clearly Raj will talk about ratings, or you can even segue into ratings if you want right from here. But people tuned in. I think the universal response was positive. I want to know how you felt about it, but also how it became one of those, worst kept secrets in wrestling kind of things. Was that a good move, or should they have been more of a surprise? Walk us through it, Raj. What do you think?
Oh, I think they did it beautifully. And I think, the way they built up the storyline, you knew AJ Lee was coming in. And
Right.
I thought because of that, it was one of the best returns seen in a while. Like they didn't do just the surprise. I think, that's up there with CM Punk returning to AEW, the way they did that. I thought it was one of the best in decades, really. And, blending in with the storyline and then doing it on that night when everyone knew she was going to be there. That show did a huge rating. And that was against an NFL game, a regular season NFL game, the second night of NFL. And it still did 1.585 million viewers, 0.52, 18 to 49 rating. That 0.52 is the best they've done since the pre-Mania show. So just huge. It was up 86% from the prior week. And so, and the prior week was Labor Day weekend. It did its lowest rating on USA ever, and one of its lowest ratings in history outside of a few FS1 shows. So huge success. I thought it was brilliant the way that they did it. So, and AJ Lee, I mean, I think people forget, like, you see these people online that are like, oh, well, her matches aren't as good as the women today and this and that. And it's like, you guys don't remember. Either you don't remember or you're trolling, because not only could she have great matches, but she was a star. And that's the hardest thing to teach.
And Jack, I'm going to cut in here. You should have thrown to me because you was throwing to Raj the first time. I know you love him to death, but nonetheless, I'm part of it too. So I'm busting your chops, brother.
Yeah.
But for real, AJ, and she's showing it now again. She was one of the very few girls or guys back in that era. I call it the Cena era, in which their characters are so overdeveloped in a good way. I mean, and she showed it yet again. Go back and watch her re-debut. She's fully in gimmick, fully in character, fully being the crazy girl, skipping around with the crazy faces and the over-exaggeration smiles, being completely not being taken out of the moment by fans going berserk for her, which had to have emotionally connected with her, but staying in her gimmick, staying in her character. And she did that the entire time she was with that company back in the day, when they were putting these women in the ring with stupid crap, stupid stuff that was almost halfway insulting. Yeah, it wasn't like pillow. Maybe they were. It's still in the era with pillow fights, but not as bad as it was the slight half era before that, with the Tori Wilsons, etc. Right? In the Marias, but she was one of the very first that was able to go in the ring and wrestle and work with anybody and actually work a really well-worked match. If we're talking on stupid Meltzer's 5-star ratings system, like, she was that girl of being able to bring girls up to her level that were not as trained as she was. This girl, like, not many people know this. They just assume because she married CM Punk, all this great stuff has happened for her since. And it's like, that's bullshit. Excuse my French. She's somebody that, like, gutted, scraped, scratched, and clawed as a girl from New Jersey, working her way through the indies to get her shot in WWE at a time when they were looking for girls that were like Playboy models, if you remember. And she got through all of that and still got over, still became a multi-time champion, and still was putting on huge great in-ring work matches nonstop with girls that I'm just going to keep it a buck, that were not good. Some of them were, but the majority of them were not, as far as in-ring action goes and in-ring psychology goes. And again, she's now back, not with a 6-pack, with an 8-pack, 10 years later. Man, a huge shout out to April Mendez. We love you. We're so excited you're back, and love her promo tonight on Raw more than anything else. Loved her promo about talking about therapy and people getting help. I loved every ounce of that. People always know me as, I'm an multi-time elected official in the city of Longwood, But one of my other jobs is I work for Orlando Recovery Center, and I get people into treatment every day with mental health primary issues and substance use disorder issues as well. And it's a serious subject to me. I'm sure everybody watching this as well. I loved her promo tonight more than you could ever know.
Yeah, I think she knocked it out of the park. And for people who don't know, and the people who are trolling, as far as her having bad matches,
Jack, they're AEW fans that are doing it. And it could be the second coming of Hulk Hogan coming back. They're still going to crap on it because they're jealous.
Well,
call buck a buck.
I always say there's a lot of people from that era that if they came back aren't going to get the same reaction. That
No
AJ
way,
got.
especially in that era, Jack. No way. I agree.
Yeah. And I look at, I said before, but similar to CM Punk, not just because they're married, but this is just on their own. She just has a connection to the fans that is different than what most people have. That there's a reason why people are excited to see her. And if you've never seen her before, get ready, because based on everything I've seen, she is about to do it all over again. I'm excited for her.
And I'll tell the fans watching this show, if they didn't watch Raw tonight, go back and watch it. Go back and watch her promo. Mm-hmm. What makes her so relatable is talking about the things that back in many, many years ago, we were told were weaknesses. No, going and getting help, getting treatment, getting therapy doesn't make you weak. That makes you 1,000 times stronger than the next person. And that's the first wrestler I've ever watched put it into the perfect words while still being in character somehow.
Right.
Like, I was blown away by her promo time. I'm not exaggerating.
Well, she came back and ratings were great. In fact, WWE in general has been doing good. And so, Matt, I'm going to throw this one to you, if that's okay, AEW has taken notice. And they're moving all out to an earlier time. Now that they're going head-to-head against the WWE PLE. Why don't your take on this? Because part of me thinks
I wouldn't have done it, Jack.
You wouldn't have done it?
I don't mean to cut you off. I would not have done it. I would have put my team out there versus their team and said, let's friggin' go. My show was booked first. You're coming to us to make us, unravel and have to, reconnect and do a different time. We're not, F you, we're not doing it. I'm taking my guys and my girls against your show. And I know you're like, Matt, that's crazy. You're going to be on ESPN. It's the first time they're ever doing this on ESPN. It's WrestlePalooza. All these major stars are going to be there. I don't care. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say that is because this is not TNA doing this. And I'm very affinitive of, very, passionate about TNA. It was a company I was with for 7 years. I had like 6-7 pay-per-views with that company. And I'm very proud to have done so. I love that company, but it's not the same. AEW has an emptyless checkbook, for lack of better words. Yeah. And they have major stars on that show that are very good in-ring wrestlers. And some of them are very, very good characters. I would have throw it out there and let's see what happens from it. Because I do think if they kept their original time, they could have eaten not a lot, but some of that audience. I really, truly believe that. Not a lot, some.
Yeah,
but if it
go ahead, Rush.
But if it costs them hundreds of thousands of dollars in pay-per-view revenue, do you still do it? Like just if moving it up a few hours?
Yes. Can I tell you why? To show WWE, you can counter program us all you want. We're not going to change our time, and we're going to eat a certain section of your audience when you do this. Because the difference is Tony Khan's checkbook is emptyless. That's the difference.
And I agree with you on that. I was just kind of playing devil's advocate a little bit because I do see the business reason for doing it. But if they are so profitable, then, hundreds of thousands of dollars really shouldn't set this precedent, that you keep backing down when
Tony,
WWE.
I don't think that's a good sign to back down. I really don't, because it rewards WWE to keep counter programming them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And where it gets
versus saying, screw that. Nope, we're sticking to our time. Mm-hmm. Thanks, WWE, for literally acknowledging us more than you could ever acknowledge us. And we're going to stick it to you with better matches or whatever their mindset is, right? And try to do the best they can. I would not change the time on it. I would not. What is it, 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, 3 Eastern. Yeah.
Come on, man. No, I'm with my kid. No, I'm with my kid doing stuff on the weekend. No way.
Yeah.
Where it becomes doubly dangerous too is if you look at where WWE is right now. Now that they have AAA and they have NXT, if I'm WWE, the next thing I do is go, I'm going to counter program and I'm putting NXT on in the afternoon. And now where are you going to go?
I mean, I'm surprised they haven't done that yet.
Like
maybe they couldn't find a building.
If I can't get NXT on there, I'm putting AAA on, or I'm putting Worlds Collide on, or whatever.
Hey, Raj, Raj and Jack, if I'm keeping it honest, like I get what they're doing, but it's not good for the culture. I'm just keeping it real. It's not good for the business. What's good for the business is another secondary company that's paying millions of dollars to talents right now. Guys, I was begging for something like this back when I was released by WWE, of having a company to go to that would say, no, Matt, don't stutter. You graduated magna cum laude, with a communications degree in public speaking. We know you can talk. Now, like, I would have killed for that. Hey, Matt, you went to TNA. Okay, but TNA is not the same as what AEW is.
Right.
In today's culture. And they have all the money in the world. And I need them to succeed. As a fan and as a former worker, I want them to succeed. I just do.
Yeah, we remember what WWE was like before AEW came around, and it wasn't pretty.
Rotten. It was rotten. Raj, we did on Wrestling Inc. And how many times would I text you? I'm like, come on, man, I can't watch this ish. Like, man, you got it. We got to cover it. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. It was horrible. It was a John Cena era. And Jack, everybody keeps forgetting. Everybody loves John now that he's retiring. They forget the captive state he kept WWE in all those years. With the golden shovel, Roman wasn't lying, of bearing younger talents. And I love John. He's a friend, but it's the truth.
I always say you look at that time, and that's when you had Roman Reigns getting dog food dumped on his head. You had Baron Corbin as the constable.
Before that even, Jack.
But that's right before AEW came around. And then at least then AEW came around, and then we see that switch and things. And that's where I think it's important.
Brother. But WWE offered, correct me if I'm wrong, Raj, you're the contract guy. You know these finances. Am I wrong for maybe misremembering? I don't think I am. Where, what do you call it? FTR. Weren't they offered 500 G's each to stay in WWE?
Oh, I'd be surprised if it was that much, but I don't know. But I
saw a report and it could have been wrong. But like, I'm like, what? They're a great tag team, but WWE was not like featuring them like they should have.
Right.
And I was blown away by that. But that's thanks to AEW's major money being thrown into the equation.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if it was that much. But yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, you're seeing all these talents now that have an option to get another great, a great payday somewhere else. Yes. And especially if you're a star, Chris Jericho's contract is coming up and he can really play both sides against each other. And the way he could never do that before. He can really do that with TNA and WWE.
But not just him. And to my point earlier, smaller stars that are not on Chris's level, right? Like stars that have not hit their stride yet, let's say. Because there's that much money poured into this now.
Well,
it's a good thing for everybody.
Sorry, I mean, everyone else. No, you're the star. You talk. But it's everybody, really. I mean, you look at also even broadcast team members or referees or crew members.
Good point, Jack.
Just so much, like so many jobs that are available that otherwise would never open up. Justin Roberts has a great job in wrestling right now that he probably wouldn't have if it weren't.
Dapper Yapper.
Yeah, and so, but of course, all the other people who aren't as big of stars have opportunities. Some people have opportunities, and it just seems like they have a run of bad luck, like Wardlow.
Damn it.
News broke that he's injured. It looks like he's got a torn pec. Matt, we were chatting earlier, and you'd mentioned you had a similar injury like this. I mean, talk to me what's going through Wardlow's head right now, if you were Wardlow, I should say.
That I'm losing my spot. I have this great opportunity with American Gladiators that's about to come on the air. They're going to push me to the moon because of it, which they should. Hello. Yeah. And I think they would. But at the same time, I'm praying. I literally prayed when we were texting, if I'm being honest, that his pec tear does not need surgery. And the reason I say is because I tore my pec. It wasn't completely fully off the bone. And because of when I first got the report that I tore my pec, it was, and I still brain farting on the name of the tournament, you guys. I'm sure fans can remember. It was the first time TNA did this tournament where you would earn points every time you won your match, and they brought it to the house shows, which is really smart business looking back.
Is that Bound for Glory series?
Yes, thank you. Bound for Glory series. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
And whoever wins this wins the world title. And it was designed for me to win the world title the first time around. And I tear my pec. And I took a ladder shot to my chest. I don't know why that's what did it, but it did. It was dehydrated. I don't know. And I didn't tear it completely off the bone, but at first we thought it did. And a long story short, like the doctor's like, yeah, it's torn off the bone. You're going to need surgery, Matt. And from there, Creator had to go in a different direction. I think then with Bobby Roode, good choice. Very good choice of being the winner out of that, if I'm not mistaken. But my point is, 3 weeks after that, similar to Ken Anderson's story with WWE and Stephanie McMahon with his torn tricep, 3 weeks later, I learned that it wasn't torn completely off the bone. I don't need surgery. I need to do rehab like a mother. And I did. I rehabbed the crap out of it so much that they're like, oh, crap. Well, we're now going in this new direction, Matt. We hope you understand. And yeah, I did understand. And they brought me back on commentary for the weeks that I couldn't wrestle to commentate on that tournament. But the moral of the story is it screws with your head because you think you're going to lose your spot. And if I'm Wardlow, yeah, man, I'm in my head about it. Of course I am, because I've seen how this company has treated me in years past. Yeah. This entire arena at one point or another, not just one arena, all the arenas were chanting Wardlow, Wardlow, Wardlow for a long time, week after week after week. He was getting the Goldberg treatment. Even Punk, when Punk worked him and Punk had to slip over on him, he did just that. He slipped over on him after Punk got powerbombed like 10 times. And got put through a table and did the business of making Wardlow look a bigger monster, even in loss. But man, he jobbed out Max in like a job match almost.
Yeah.
He was on top of the world as King Kong, and the company did not strike.
Right.
They didn't strike with him.
Yeah.
They should have. Right then and there, that's your guy. And they didn't do it. And there's another chance that he came back. He's with that group. I forget the name of it now. I'm brain farting on it.
But with the Don Callis family? Or
Adam Cole's group for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And that didn't do anything for him. I don't know what their deal is with him, but like I would not trust the booking of that company at that point if I'm that man. The minute I get signed to American Gladiators, I'm leaving that company if I'm him. I'm paying a high price attorney to get me out of my contract. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to WWE at that point. WWE would jump all over that like flies on you know what. And I think history repeats itself. They know how to book these talents to get them in their best light possible. You showcase their strengths and you hide their weaknesses. Well, Matt, AEW did do that. Yes, in the very beginning with him. But then they did nothing with him. So if I'm him, I don't trust that company. Maybe I'm praying to be proven wrong. He and Powerhouse Hobbs are some of my two favorite wrestlers in that company as big men. And I hope it's not torn off the bone. He doesn't need surgery. I'm praying and hoping for. And he could do rehab on it and come back in months, like maybe 2 months maybe. I came back like in 7 or 8 weeks, which is really annoying to me now that I look back, because we could have worked around that had we known that information back then. I could have been champion, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Speaking of that Wardlow thing, when he squashed Max, that really should have been that Triple H Batista moment when Batista beat Triple H. It really should have been that. And
Good comparison. Good comparison.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that's what it was going to be. And then they did that thing with Max doing the Pillman stuff where he just got up and rolled out of the ring and shot on Tony Khan the next day. And then it just completely forgotten about.
Wait, hang on. Max got hard off at least on a gurney. I remember that much with a neck brace. I remember that when he got completely jobbed out by Wardlow.
But I'm pretty sure he just rolled out of the ring and walked out.
No, the next night when he cut the promo on Tony Khan, unless I'm corrected, he had the neck brace on, okay, but he went bananas and totally got in that promo. It was a great gangbuster, world beater promo.
It was.
As
I was
only
there live
Max
for that
could
one,
what?
actually. Yeah.
Huh?
I was live for that promo. It was in LA, so I was at that show. It was great.
Bro, he was smoking that night on the mic, and that was one of my favorite promos that he's ever cut. But I see what you're saying, Raj. You're saying that overshot. Like everyone's supposed to be excited about Wardlow, right?
Right. Like that was supposed to be like a crowning moment that makes him a top guy. And
yeah, he should have gone immediately for the world title after that. He should.
Yes. Oh my God.
World
Yes.
title program right after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He wasn't he doing like fighting security guards or something right after.
Yes.
That?
Every time he come in the arena, they put like 30 jobbers in front of him with security. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Which is like a cool one-time thing on his way to the world title, but not just randomly fighting a bunch of nobodies.
No, you're right.
That was very weird. That was a very weird thing to do. So hopefully he gets better. Hopefully he gets better one way or the other, because clearly he has a connection with the audience as well. And hopefully whatever company he's at, they know what to do with him, because
listen to me.
I was kind of hesitant when he was with the Don Callis family when he came out, to be totally honest. So hopefully he's doing his own thing.
A lot of my fans on Twitter DM me the same thing. I hope that doesn't pull him back, because if you look at the Don Callis group, they're really good talents in that group.
Right.
Like 3 of them are like some of my favorite stars in the company, but they need to have the freedom to talk. They have to. You can't just be a great in-ring wrestler and look like $1 million physically. You have to be able to cut a promo and sell people to the arena. And if Homeboy's doing all the talking, I'd see if they put people in that group that can't talk. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like all of them could talk, and they should give them an opportunity to. So I see what you're saying on that, both of you guys. But let's see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully he comes back stronger and they find something to do with it.
And Raj, he again, as a former American Gladiator myself, the only undefeated American Gladiator in the history of the show, dating back to the days of Nitro in the 80s, Gladiators and single competition. The Beast is the only undefeated Gladiator, so I have the right to talk about it. If I can puff my chest up anymore. No, just joking. But not really. Is that the pub he's going to get from that is going to be huge. I'll argue it's going to be even bigger today because of the different platforms that are going to be out there to showcase it. Versus when I did it, it was a big deal because it was, I'll never forget this. When I did it, on the bottom of the screen, it was on NBC, and it always would say like NBC Olympics are coming on the bottom of the signature. I was like, that's pretty freaking cool. But like, this is like, I'll argue 10 times bigger. And I feel horrible for him because he's not going to be able to strike on this huge monumental occasion of being casted as one of the Gladiators now and bringing it back for a 3rd time.
All right.
I feel horrible for him.
Matt, do you think that him being on Gladiators will sort of help carry him though while he's off TV? Because we'll still be like seeing him on TV every week, and
I'll tell you why. So I was just a former WWE wrestler that was now starting with TNA. I might have been there for about a year as Jim Cornette's bodyguard. And shockingly, once I became the Beast, oh, Matt, we're going to drop you being Jim's bodyguard. And now you're going to be da-da-da-da-da. That's the wrestling sense. That wasn't the big pull. The big pull was now I'm being invited to red carpet events in California for ESPN, sports magazines, a revenge of the jock issue, if you will, if I remember right, and getting to mingle with all these other NBA, NFL, hockey, and just normal Los Angeles celebrities, and rub elbows, but more importantly, get phone numbers, get massive amount of phone numbers, if I remember right, and talking to different agents that would get me my best contract with TNA possible, and that's how I got it done. Without Gladiators, I would not have been able to pull that off. I'd never been able to pay with this cat sitting in this house that I'm in right now with cash without being on American Gladiators. That made me more viable to TNA at the time.
Absolutely. And well, I hope that Wardlow comes back soon and healthy, but you know who else I hope comes back? all the viewers and listeners to our show. I hope you hit the like, comment, share, subscribe.
Wait,
button.
time out. Why would they not be coming back? What are you saying?
I don't know. Some people are bad decision makers. And so I got to help remind them, you got to hit the subscribe button so you come back and see the show. You go to podcastheatwrestling.com, hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications.
Please.
Follow Podcast Heat at Watch Pod Heat on X and IG. Tomorrow night, D'Lo Brown, 10 p.m. Eastern, is going to be going back and watching some Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Wednesday night, we got Nick Patrick doing Q&A. Thursday, special event, Diamond Dallas Page, live watch-along of the match that put him on the map. Spring Stampede 1997 against Macho Man Randy Savage, and so much more. Stay tuned for some announcements and some opportunities to become members for exclusive content coming your way. Matt, you seem super pumped about the Macho match. I love that match. Put me on board with him, but DDP that is, sent out a tweet today.
Yeah.
And he sent out a tweet that said, quote, "Yo, Tony, when are you bringing back real Britt Baker? Rumor has it she's been staying in peak physical condition and is ready to make a return. She's ready, and so are the fans." And then, of course, linked to his interview with Britt Baker. I want your thoughts on Britt Baker and DDP. And DDP personally wagging his finger at Tony Khan saying, when does the dentist get back on TV?
To borrow a phrase from Punk, tell me when he's telling lies. I'm sorry, Britt Baker was the first female wrestler in that company to groundbreak it. Let's be honest. Of getting over, not just as a talent, not just as a person, but emotionally invested by the fans in her as a talent, as a character. Could cut world beater promos when you throw a mic in her face. What are we talking about? Why is she not a major part of this show? I agree with him. I'm just shocked that he tweeted about that, if I'm being honest.
Me too. He's not usually the type that does that. He's obviously there's been the reports of Britt Baker having backstage heat, but it's a business, and you gotta
stop doing that, Raj. Don't you think? Like screw who has heat, who doesn't.
Right? Yeah.
WWE years when I was there, somebody might have heat. It didn't stop them from being on television if they made Vince money. Exactly. So Tony's gonna get that in his head. Oh, so-and-so doesn't like them. This circle jerk friends doesn't like her. Tough, you know what?
Yeah.
Put them on TV because they're going to make us more money. That is your job, Tony.
Right. I mean, you look at what they've got for Tony Storm coming up at the next pay-per-view, and it's like it just kind of thrown together. It's so unimportant, but you could have like Britt Baker in that mix, and all of a sudden it makes it a much bigger deal. And Britt Baker feuding with Tony, Britt Baker back in the mix with Mercedes. It just adds having another big star in that mix just adds so many more possibilities.
I agree.
She's intriguing. She's someone who, when she's on TV, you want to tune in and you want to see what she's doing. And I think just, of course, the story of a full-time dentist also being a pro wrestler is just great publicity as well for a million reasons.
Yeah. She legit is. I've been in her office. I swear to God, here in Florida, I was in one of her offices. Like, I had no idea. Like she was the actual dentist. I swear, and that sounds crazy. But she really has legitimate business that's very successful here.
Yeah.
Did she floss you too hard? Sometimes when you
what was it? Treatment? It was for,
but yeah, I want to see Britt Baker back on TV as well, and I want to see DDP on TV. I'm a big DDP fan. I just like anything he's doing
because he's one of the fans, right? He's one of anybody that could be sitting in that arena that made it. What sold me on DDP was on Saturday night, if I remember correctly, back WCW years. I'm like, this guy's coming out smoking a cigar. That's pretty sweet. Yeah. And I thought he was tall. And I don't know why that always resonated with me. I was a tall person, and that's what introduced my dad introducing me to pro wrestling with Andre the Giant as my first person to watch was always because I was uncomfortable with my height being taller than everybody else. So some weird reason. So to this day, height means something to me when I watch wrestling. Yeah. But back then, DDP was like, this dude's pretty freaking tall. Like, why aren't they talking about it?
Yeah.
But I didn't know how old he was until I read his autobiography when I was in college. I was a senior in college, and I read his autobiography. It was such a motivational autobiography. It was so good.
Yeah, even now, I mean, I was at his 60th birthday, and that's probably 10 years ago. So he's probably 70 now, and he looks great,
fantastic.
Yeah.
He's sitting there in surgery. You all saw him doing his stretch still.
Doing the stretch.
He's a beast.
He has the biggest turnaround for me as far as I was an NWO guy, so I hated him when I used to watch him. But he has the biggest turnaround of any wrestler for me hating someone to like, oh, he is the best. I love this guy.
Oh my God. He deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame just for the, like, I know he's already in, but like for just the work he does.
Yeah.
Saving these guys' lives. What?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Just
100%.
like he needs to be inducted a second time because of it.
Well, we have a jam-packed show of Raw tonight we have to cover, and a lot of big stuff went down. This is a really good episode of Raw for my dollar. But Raj, I want to come to you first. We got a few things happen. I want to start with AJ Styles, El Grande Americano, and El Grande Americano Dos out there having a match. AJ Styles obviously gets the win after Dragon Lee helps him out. But later in the show, Dom Mysterio is getting read the riot act for being friends with El Grande Americano. What's your take on AJ Styles, El Grande Americano, and the situation with Dom and everything else going on?
And I feel like it's been going on a long time, you know, with AJ being in that Dom mix, but it's entertaining. I mean, they're doing something with AJ. Like during the commercial break, they had him saying like, somebody doesn't want me here, you know, kind of alluding to, you know, maybe there's some backstage heat. Obviously, he's saying it during the commercial break. Obviously, it's a storyline to get people talking. But it'll be interesting to see where they go with him, because the rumor is that his contract is also coming up sometime early next year, and you know, he has said in the past that he'd want to retire, but now it doesn't seem so much like he's ready quite yet. He looks in fantastic shape. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes.
Matt, I want to ask you real quick, and obviously your thoughts on this, but speaking of AJ Styles talking about retirement and then maybe not knowing what's going on, you've gone through the retirement process. What does that feel like when you say you're going to retire and then the actual day starts showing up? Do you get the second thoughts, or how does that work?
Mine's incredibly different. No, I never gave it a second thought, because I did it from the delivery room when my son Jackson was born, unexpectedly. And folks that don't know this, I'm going to say it again. Maybe you didn't hear this in the past, but I asked out for my TNA contract. I'd been there for like 7 years, and I did not deny, that's the wrong word. That sounds arrogant, but I turned down 3 different WWE offers along that 7-year window with my contract status with TNA. Well, I'd done everything I could at TNA besides win the World Heavyweight Championship. And I saw that that's not where they were going to be going with me at this point in 2014, if I remember right, 2012, 2013. I don't remember the year. I just know it was time to leave and take WWE up on their offer. And long story short, I'm in a delivery room. So I was supposed to go back and re-debut with WWE. New gear made, everything. They're going to let me be the blueprint, which I was blown away with, because at this time, and folks, you can go back and look on the internet. This is when WWE, and specifically Triple H, wanted nothing to do with former TNA talents. He didn't want to bring TNA talents onto their show at the time. He didn't want to break that mold. I don't know why that was his mold to begin with. And we obviously saw what happened after that. That he was smart enough to fix that. But that was the thing. He didn't want to have TNA stink on you, is what I was told. And so I was going to give it enough time, and I was going to re-debut WWE in the Royal Rumble 2014. January. My son Jackson was born the very first week of January 2014. I'm in the delivery room holding him for the first time. I'm like, I've been begging God for 12 years to be a dad. And now I'm going to go on the road again, 4 to 5 days. At that time, it was still 4 to 5 days a week, every month of every year of being on the road, because they had house shows still. I can't do this. I had a blessed 12-year wrestling career. Like I said, I was able to pay for things I never thought in a million years I'd be able to pay for and take care of my family, my wife, and now my newborn son. Now, check please, I'm done. It's time to be a dad. And that's what eventually led me into, once my son was diagnosed with autism, eventually led me into public office running as, commissioner and mayor, a 3-time mayor now here in the city of Longwood. But so it wasn't like that for me. It wasn't tough at all. Holding my son in the delivery room? Hell no. Now, if you ask me that question my first or second year in the business, I'd have a very different answer. I have a feeling. Much different answer. Yeah.
Do you think AJ Styles sticks around? Do you think he's going to resign either with?
No,
WWE
I think he would. I know him. He and I talk an awful lot. I'm not saying he'd say, "Hey man, I'm going to retire," because he didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
But no, I think he retires, and he gets the send off he deserves, and he goes in the Hall of Fame without flipping question.
Yeah.
So his contract is up in February, and he posted an hourglass post on Instagram. Matt, kind of reminds me of when you had the TikTok posts. But AJ Styles, you posted an hourglass.
You're that one that remembers that, Raj?
I do remember that.
Yeah. You're the one.
I do.
Thanks, Raj.
Yeah,
my boy.
Well, yeah, I do agree with you though. AJ Styles, absolutely Hall of Famer, slam dunk, Hall of Famer.
Can I say something real quick? Even if he didn't go to WWE, like I know you have to go to WWE to be in the Hall of Fame somehow. He still would have qualified for Hall of Fame, in my opinion. If he stayed with TNA this entire time, I'm sorry. I still think he would have qualified for it. Because I can tell you something as a wrestler. Real quick. I'm sorry, Jack. Just a quick sidebar. I know we got to get moving. But when I was wrestling in Haw Valley Wrestling, every cruiserweight, every heavyweight had the best of AJ Styles volume, you name it. And that dude's moves have been getting jacked, stolen, and ganked for a decade and a half before he made it to WWE television for the first time. I swear to God on this. These are guys I'm friends with, so I'm not going to say any names, but I can name at least 15 to 20 of them. That were major stars in WWE that used his stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And I think with WWE and the partnerships they're making, I got a feeling we'll see more people in the Hall of Fame who were never actually in WWE in the past.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing, Jack.
I agree. 100% I agree. Talk about future Hall of Famers. We got a promo here. We talked about her a little bit earlier today. AJ Lee comes out, makes her, I guess, official debut, cuts a promo. Becky Lynch comes out to go back and forth. If Becky wants her IC title back, she needs to agree to a tag team match, which Rollins eventually does for Becky. This is I want your thoughts on it, Matt. You just break it down, your thoughts. I loved it, but let me know what you think.
Gangbuster segment, money-making segment, ticket-selling segment. First of all, AJ cutting the world beater promo I said earlier in this podcast about mental health, I need therapy, all this other stuff that was so great. It makes it so relatable to everybody, not in the arena, watching on TV. Okay. But then staying in her gimmick and the character the whole time. Right. And then out comes Becky. And I'm sorry. I've seen people say Becky's out of touch now. I've seen other wrestlers say that. Guys I love to death as friends. And other people like crap on her. I don't know why they are. I think Becky's doing some of the best promo work of her career right now, without question. She's begging for the heat and not scared of getting it like every other temper tantrum talent is always terrified of getting. Oh, I'm not being cheered anymore. What am I going to do? No, you're a heel. You're being paid to have your tires popped and bottles of piss of Gatorade thrown at you. Like, that's what you're paid to do as a heel. Yeah, that was back in my era, not today, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
And that's what you're paid to do. That's what puts asses in seats, is they heel that people want to see get punched in the mouth finally. And now we're going to see it through AJ Lee, but it's Becky that set the table. And it can't be lost on anybody watching that segment tonight. The great promo work once again by Becky Lynch.
Something I loved about Raj, I have both of them in this one. And typically I'm a pretty hard judge of Becky Lynch, but she has been phenomenal, I think, recently. But AJ Styles, as simple as this is, I love that she came out and was like, this is who I am, this is where I've been, and this is why I'm back. It's so perfect. it's so obvious, but so many people just don't do that. And I was like, thank you for all that very simple stuff, but also great messages, as Matt said, stayed in character. And Becky Lynch, I've just been like phenomenal. I feel like I feel
Such a jerk,
with
right?
Becky with Becky Lynch, I feel like maybe the reason I didn't like her as much before is because I feel like she has ascended so high. It feels like she wasn't able to find a real match, and now with CM Punk in the ring with her and AJ Lee, I feel like, oh, now it feels like, before it felt like she was punching down a little bit against like Lyra Valkyria and stuff. You're like, okay, whatever, you're being a jerk to Lyra Valkyria, but now it's like, oh, this is serious. Raj, what's your thought?
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know, and it's funny because when the promo started out, you could see how into her the fans were. And you could see AJ Lee. It took a second because she was taking it all in, and just I think anyone in those shoes would just be overwhelmed. And then she quickly was able to get into character, like soaked it in, took a second, and then got into character. And just again, I thought the segment was a home run. I think her being back as a home run. I think her and Becky could be a main event on their own as a single.
Yes.
I get them wanting to do a tag match or first match back in 10 years and everything, but she's a main eventer and she can easily headline a pay-per-view. And so I think it's just a great signing. She signed I forget how long the deal is, but this isn't a one-off. She's here for a while. So
Raj,
yeah,
she had the arena chanting therapy. Therapy.
Never heard that chant
ever. Nobody has. I just was mind boggled by that, and I shouldn't have, because we're not too old to remember when she was there in her first run that we always connected with that audience, even as a heel against the Bellas. Remember that? It was the total divas versus like her, that like, I'm a real wrestler. I scrapped to get everything I've gotten in this life. Screw you for having a reality show. Now you guys are over all of a sudden. Like, you guys still can't lace my boots. You still can't wrestle. You still can't even lock up right. You're an embarrassment to women's wrestling. Like, she would destroy them. And she was always right. If you go back and watch, the fans will halfway cheer her during those promos.
Pre-fight, don't bring up some juicy matchups for AJ. And just think about Bianca and Jade and I mean, just so many. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. I mean, there's just a gamut of interesting new matches and feuds that they could do. So
she's got to be NXT's chock full of
people.
Yeah, Roxanne.
You guys, she must be proud, because if you guys go back in time and remember, Give Women a Chance started with her. She was the first one to hashtag that. That eventually the others were doing. Then eventually Stephanie finally paid attention. But the point is, she was ahead of the curve of being an in-ring very good worker when it wasn't so cool for a women's wrestler to be a great, as stupid as that sounds. That was, we remember it.
Yeah. And there's this clip on social right now of Roxanne when she was in the ring tonight on Raw, and they showed the AJ Lee video, and you could see she was just like really happy to see her back.
I saw a picture of her wearing an AJ Lee shirt when she was still just a little kid.
Yeah.
I love that.
Cool.
I love when
really cool.
guys, I love when I see a current, but pro wrestling fan when they were younger.
Yeah.
You see the pictures and videos of it, and now they're there, which makes me love Roxanne Perez even more.
Yeah.
I want to see it do good.
Especially in this world where they have they're recruiting college athletes now and things, and maybe people.
Good point.
It's cool to see, like, oh, you were always a fan. That's awesome.
Yes, it is.
You're a nerdy fan like me that's living your dream. Yeah,
that's it, Jack. That's it, Jack.
It's great. And so AJ Lee so far, slam dunk, crushing it every step of the way. I think everyone involved in this is crushing it every step of the way.
I mean, this match should go on last, in my opinion, over Cena and Brock.
Definitely. I don't care about Brock and Cena. I agree.
That, which is crazy to say.
Right?
That is
over Cena and Brock.
like, do you realize? And I'm going to be honest, hearing Raj say this actually is blowing my mind, of all people. Like, say Cena Cena and Brock should open the show so that the real attractions can close it out. Cena on his retirement tour against Brock Lesnar, who may never come back. I don't know, but you're right.
That's crazy.
You're right. That's so crazy to say.
It's wild.
That's we're in an alternate universe, everybody.
Right? I keep saying it. We're spoiled with the riches right now. We are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Enjoy it because it doesn't always last forever when it's this good.
Right.
I do have a complaint about this week, though, and I want to know what your guys' take is. We had a couple matches, Raquel Rodriguez versus Lara Valkyria, as well as Penta versus Rusev. We had, I think, 5 matches, 6. In any case, only one match tonight did not end with someone on the outside distracting the good guy so the bad guy could win. And it I don't know, it felt a little bit like, okay, we need to start mixing this up.
So to be fair, Lyra Valkyrie, am I saying that right?
Valkyria.
Whatever. They tested her, they tried. I'm sorry. Next, they've got a lot of female studs in NXT that, in my opinion, are going to get over to this audience more than she will. I'm not being a jerk about it. I'm just keeping it a buck. Mm-hmm. They've tried everything they could to get her over. She's just not. They're not. Like, go back and watch her entrance. Trying to get the crowd to do the yay thing in her entrance, like, they stopped, like, after the first one. But the way she lost, it wasn't completely because of Perez. The announcers tried to cover and say, well, they're to do this and this and this. And that's how let's be clear. And the right winner won. Raquel Rodriguez is the MVP, in my opinion, right now for the entire Judgment Day. I'm sorry.
Well, not counting Dom, right?
Definitely not counting Dom. My apologies. Definitely not. Okay. Sorry. Sans Dom.
Right.
Enter the rest of them, including Roxanne, who's incredibly good in the ring, and she's going to be a huge star. She already is, but she's going to be 10 times bigger one day. But, dude, she caught her from the top rope, grabbed her foot, and caught her in a goozle on her shoulder. And it was a great move, great finish. I liked it because I was going to be pissed if they beat Raquel Rodriguez because she's the only one in that group right now holding it down that looks like a badass that makes them legitimate. The rest of them are all chicken-ish heels.
Yeah.
She is the one that can throw down through Rhea Ripley. And the rest of major contenders in that division, they've got to do a better job of building her up. And I thought they did a good job with this match on that. Now, real quick, oh God, what was the other match you said? You said
Penta and Rusev.
Okay, so I did not agree with that finish. Penta should have won. I love Rusev. He looks like $1 million coming back. Mm-hmm. Him winning is not as important as to the audience, in my opinion, as Penta winning would have done. So I would not have Penta had lost that match. I think that was a mistake. What was the other match you said?
It was all of them except for Asuka versus Nikki Bella had someone on the outside do a distraction.
And I agree with Asuka winning, by the way, in that match too.
And that was clean as a whistle. Yeah,
it should have, and it should have been. I'm sorry.
You know what's great?
I like that they did that.
And I thought, and Raj, I want your takes on this too. I was blown away by the fact that Asuka won. I thought for sure Nikki Bella was going to win. In fact,
because she's such a big name, right?
I was already upset. Like when it started, I was like, man, Asuka needs to get some wins right now. And then she goes like, oh, okay, well maybe I should wait and see.
That's exactly. Yeah, I thought Io was going to come out and she was going to get distracted, and then Nikki Bella wins, and then Asuka's mad at Io, they keep playing off that feud. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised when Asuka just beat her to me.
So the Io Sky, Asuka, and Kairi Sting angle is super underrated. Mm-hmm. Maybe one of my favorite storylines right now. I swear on it. I'm very entertained by it. I continue to be more impressed with each week. Mm-hmm. I like it all.
Yeah, I agree.
I love the yelling off screen from Asuka and Kairi being like, ugh.
That's the hook. That is the hook.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so good. Yeah. Wrestling, it needs to be a variety. It can't all be super serious stuff. And this stuff is just it's fun. I love it.
And Asuka will punch you square in your mouth. Like, she's tough. She's legit.
Yeah.
that's what makes it so good when she's screaming at Kairi Sane, because you're like, yes,
Yes.
she could bite your
It's
head
believable.
off.
Yes, and she will.
We get to the main event. As I should say, the bookends of the show, the beginning and the end. We start with the Usos coming out and reuniting. They get hit with the Braun soon. LA Knight comes out and it helps the good guys get the win or save the day at that point. Match later in the night, LA Knight versus Bronson Reed. Ends with Bronson Reed getting the win. Another post-match shenanigans kerfuffle happens. But the interesting part is after the good guys get the win, Jey Uso throws a spear for no good reason, taking out LA Knight.
Spear or super kick?
It was a spear this time.
Spear, yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I have it in my head as a super kick? I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, I mean, so Jey Uso maybe showing signs of gray, but LA Knight also getting a little bit, I'm sick of helping people and being on the outside.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. This guy should have been world champion 3 years ago. Like, what are we doing?
I agree.
Here? What are we doing?
In fact, I think he should have possibly been champion at the last pay-per-view. I think he should have won that 4-way.
What is he missing? Raj, you've been watching this all your life and reporting on it and being paid to report on it. What I might be, because I'm a former wrestler, I have a different opinion. Like, what am I missing? Why didn't they pull the trigger on it?
Yeah, they're just in that era of not changing the title too many times. But yeah, I do think, would I put the world title on him over Jey Uso? I think so. I think there's still more upside. So yeah. Joel Jose saying Raquel took Kevin Nash's advice to work bigger to heart. She looks amazing. Yeah, you have seen that.
I agree.
Pivot.
I agree with that 100%. Good call. Sorry, Ross.
Lots of cool new moves, by the way, from Raquel, like this week.
A goozle? Bro, I'm strong as crap. In my prime, I could bench 655. I'm not strong enough to catch another man running into the corner full speed, catch their boot. The boot me in the face, right? But catching it. And then somehow magically having the person on my shoulder in a goozle position. I'm telling you, that's massive strength, you guys.
Yeah.
You waved it off, but I also want to give Jose Topete a shout out for this is a cool group. Let's talk wrestling.
That's what we're doing. Wrestling nerds. That's what we do. This again, and Raj, this at first, the way to end it, I was like, great. We've got another week where the two Brawns are attacking and they fight in the end, and one side comes out. But I'm interested now. Jey Uso going to the dark side. You think he's going to go all the way? You think he's going to go full tribal chief, as they were alluding to?
I don't think either of those guys should be a heel right now. The crowd just loves him too much, and it's too organic. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. Like LA Knight and Jey Uso as the feud after they do these things with the Brawns. They're not calling them Braun anymore, thank God. But after they do the Usos versus the Bronson and Braun, I'm interested. So I agree with you, Jack. I thought the exact thing. I'm like, they're ending Raw the same way they've been doing for the last 7 weeks, except no CM Punk. And then they do that little thing with Jey Uso and LA Knight. And I was like, all right, this shit's good.
Yeah. Well,
just because of that spear is what, I agree.
Yeah.
That's what fixed it.
Yeah.
I agree.
And that's the amazing thing about wrestling is one little thing changes everything. Mm-hmm. And it's something that without one move not in there, I would have been bored. But that one move happened, and now I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in.
Right.
As soon as I'm out, you pull me back in.
But Jack and Raj, Bronson Reed continues to be incredibly underrated. I know he's in the main event scenario now, but his work in the ring is outstanding. I can't believe would they bill him at 330, something like that? I'm like, I'm a huge fan of him. I like how big he works. And they're like, oh, he's similar to Bam Bam. I'm going to make the argument for him. He's more athletic than Bam Bam. A lot of people are not going to like that comment. I'm sorry about your feelings. It's true. Watch how he got shit canned through the second rope tonight. Watch how quickly he whipped right through those ropes. Bam Bam couldn't do that like that. And Bam Bam was massively athletic. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. He was one of the guys I studied too. Yeah. But this dude is on a different level of athleticism for a big man. And I like how they're starting to try to feature him a little bit more and more, because I know they got a future world champion for decades to come. WrestleMania moment waiting to happen in the main event, waiting to happen for decades to come in Braun Breaker, right? We all know that. The whole world knows this.
Yes.
And I was worried that Bronson was going to be left in the dust as just the big, doofy big man that does his dirty work for him, right?
Yeah.
And his second. I love how they're making him featured. And they put a lot of equity into him, and I think it's paying off. I really do.
Yeah, and even like in the promo at the beginning of the show, like Braun Breaker can get lost a little bit, it seems like, or
yes.
And I thought Bronson Reed like really took over, and it was calm and composed, and I thought he just killed it.
Yes, I agree.
Well,
dude's massively underrated. Massively underrated. I know he's in the main event, Matt. What else do you want? I still think he's underrated with the fans. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I love him. I agree, but I can't call him more athletic than Bam Bam until he does a cartwheel in the ring. But that does it.
I bet you he could do it.
He just did it through the second rope tonight. Go back and watch.
He probably could, but Bam Bam.
No, listen to me. That's literally as a wrestler how they teach us how to take a shit can over the top rope or through the second rope. It's literally a cartwheel. Go back and watch it. I'm not making that up. I swear to God.
Well, that does it for us. This was a fun show. I appreciate you guys. But before we go anywhere, Raj, let the world know where they can find you online.
Just check me out at the RAJ GIRI on X, and check out Practical Money. There'll be a new issue out this coming weekend.
I always check it out. Always good stuff. Recommend everyone does it. Matt Morgan, how about yourself?
I'm good. You already know where to find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're good.
And I want to thank everyone for joining us. If you're in the chat, we appreciate you for joining the chat and subscribing. If you're not subscribed, hit the bell. Is it still the bell? Hit the bell. Subscribe. Join the chat next time. Leave a comment here while you can. Share the show. You can find me at Real Jack Farmer across all social media. That does it for us. We'll be back next Monday. But until then, make sure to check out all the great shows on the Podcast Heat Network. We'll see you Monday.